On this video, I want to talk about why anxiety makes you feel like you're going crazy, like you're going insane. Maybe you've rushed to the ER many times, maybe you've been to a psychologist, doctor many times, and they've told you it's just anxiety and it's all good, but you feel like, no, I'm going crazy. This means I'm getting psychosis. This means I'm getting this health issue, that health issue, cancer, etc., blah, blah. By the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm just someone that used to suffer from the same thing you're experiencing and managed to recover naturally. I had it for 3 to 4 years until eventually what I learned helped me overcome it. Because literally, nobody helped me, man. Like this, I had anxiety around 10, 11 years ago. I had it for 3 to 4 years, and now I've been free for 7 or 8 years or something like this. And basically, once you implement the right things, you'll be able to recover and you won't feel like you're going crazy anymore. Okay? So I understand how debilitating it can be, that you feel like you're losing it, that you're literally going insane because maybe you have intrusive thoughts, obsessive thoughts, maybe you have some form of OCD, which is very common with anxiety. Now, I think you should just view all these symptoms as anxiety. It doesn't matter if it's OCD, this, that, this form of anxiety, that. I had all this stuff, including depression. And I had it in a debilitating way, like where I had anxiety literally 24/7. Like the emotion was there constantly. It became my default state. I fell down from like feeling good to anxiety. And my default state became anxiety. And it was characterized by an abundance of anxiety symptoms, panic attacks, heart palpitations, weird physical symptoms, twitching, intrusive thoughts, depersonalization, derealization, depression. The list is endless. Blurry vision, crazy floaters. It was just, I thought I was going insane, man. And it didn't help that, like, before that, I smoked a lot of weed, drank a lot, and experimented with psychedelics, which freaked me out, So I also went to a doctor, a psychologist as well in Germany. And he said, I told him, like, what I just shared. And he was like, oh, you took psychedelics. This could be you going psychosis. So you might actually be going insane. I was like, thank you, man. So that makes me feel a lot better, man. Thank you so much for those nice words of encouragement, Like, thank you. Now I feel a lot better. Not. That just freaked me out, man. I was like, okay, F this. I'm gonna find this out myself. I'm gonna fix this for myself. And there was no videos like this out there. So I just started reading books, man, honestly. I was just desperate. I did the typical thing where you just constantly Google your symptoms and you will go into forums, and that just freaked me out even more. Because I just saw more hopeless, suffering people that were not getting better. And I was like, okay, I have to get rid of that. I have to read books and focus on living my life again. I understood that I'm in this anxiety prison, quote unquote comfort zone, although with anxiety you can't call it a comfort zone, can you? But it's still, the official term is a comfort zone, which is, when you have anxiety, at least the way I had it, I also had agoraphobia, like it was a problem to go to the supermarket. Imagine that, like just going to the supermarket represented a huge challenge. That's crazy. And I was like, I'm done, had like suicidal thoughts. I was like, no, if I keep living like this, I don't want to live, man. Okay? But I would have never like committed suicide or something, okay? But anyway, once I started reading books, I got some new ideas, And I read all these books, man, about mindset, about personal growth, and I discovered things that you can actually apply in your life to get better and literally overcome this anxiety, okay? So one of the most powerful books I read was At Last Alive by Paul David, which is a book by a former anxiety sufferer that managed to come out of it himself. He introduced this idea of acceptance, of a mental understanding of anxiety. Okay, you must just comprehend that these symptoms are just created by the anxiety and that's it. And you don't need to worry about the symptoms, and you can just go about accepting them and face your fears. Live as though you're anxiety free, and basically, like, the more you do the uncomfortable, the more you become comfortable. And so you have this inner game, this inner attitude towards anxiety, whereby you accept the anxiety and you no longer fight it, because the fight is what feeds it, You're given it power by resisting it, and what you resist persists and may even grow in size, Carl Jung said. So most anxiety sufferers, as Paul David says, are simply beating the broken leg or arm, wondering why they're not getting better instead of just allowing it to heal, letting it do its own thing. You stepping out of the way, allowing the anxiety to do its thing, to unravel itself over time via acceptance, and you living as though you're anxiety free imperfectly as best you can. So you begin to do exposure therapy. You face your fears. You start progressively desensitizing yourself. Your nervous system is just like wrongly wired right now, and all you have to do is like stop battling your anxiety, allow your nervous system to heal, and literally live as though you're anxiety free, to take your mind off anxiety. Be busy, keep your mind busy when the anxiety arises. Accept it and allow it to be there in the background. And yes, that's it basically. It's simple, but not easy to do. And what I also recommend you look into is meditation, a morning routine, visualizing, to reprogram your subconscious mind, where you visualize the life you want, the life where you are anxiety free. This also tackles the inner game of anxiety recovery. So you're doing the outer game and the inner game, and then you recover. If you'd like to work with me, I offer coaching. You can schedule a free discovery call. There'll be a link somewhere in the description or below this video for you to click, and then we can hop on Zoom and see if my coaching service can actually help you. Other than that, I will see you in the next video, my friend, and talk to you later. Peace and much love.